supposed to be sleeping. I was in the shower and I was like, should I talk about it? Should I not talk about it? And I feel like when it's a family emergency, it mellows out the chaos on the outside of that family, and the small petty stuff stops being important, and you start to deep think about what you haven't been prepared for. You start to deep think on, if I lose this person, or if this person that I care about loses me, what do they have? What did I leave them? Did I do enough? Do I have enough, right? And so I feel like with the shooting at the grocery store in New York last week, and then now we have a shooting at an elementary school 2 days ago with 21 people killed now. Was 14 to 18, now 21. I think there's one girl fighting for her life in critical condition. All those kids who in their mind was ready for the summer and not really doing any work because this is kind of like their last week of school. As a mom, I felt the way. As an adult, I felt the way. And when I tell you I feel a way, it's like kids are supposed to be able to go to school, learn, play, absorb, and come home. None of those children's parents were prepared to drop their kids off for the last time for the rest of their lives. None of those kids' parents were prepared for that morning to be the last morning to see their kid. And that's even if they saw their kid. What if someone else dropped their kid off to school and they didn't see him since the day before? Right? Until America and their government is ready to admit there is a serious self-hate issue that we've been ignoring because of entertainment, that we've been ignoring because of celebrities, that we've been ignoring because of sports, that we've been numbing for years. Okay? For years. School shootings should not be a norm. Going to the grocery store and being hunted should not be a norm. And when I go to the grocery store and I see a sign on the outside that says no firearms, what? As a licensed woman and mother to carry, excuse you? And so,
the legends are true. Overwhelming power.
The sauce of destiny.
Yes! The most legendary sauce has arrived as McDonald's transforms into the anime world of WickDonald's. The greatest flavors unite in all new savory chili McDonald's sauce to make your 10-piece Wick Nuggets, fries, and Sprite ultra-powerful. Unlock manga comics with every meal and sit down for a new anime short every week only at WickDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, go!
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the "did we just hit a million orders" stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
My kids didn't see the process of the emergency, the alert, the news, all the chaos. They didn't see it. They were home playing with my mom. And the only reason why Anya brought it to my attention yesterday is because she has an iPad and she saw the headline. And I had to explain to her what happened. And my thing is this whole work-life balance and grandparents raising their grandchildren, or parents so busy trying to make a life and create opportunities for their kids but not really know who their kids are, is constantly slipping through our fingers, to the point that who that young man was that chose to record as he hunted those people in the grocery store was evident last year, the year before that, 3 years before that, 4 years before that. And when you're a good parent and you get to see mannerisms and attitude and aggression and numbness to compassion for other people, you can tell who your child might have the possibility of becoming if you pay attention. But if you are not paying attention and you are passing by your child in your home that you're providing because you feel like you're creating a safe environment, they're comfortable, this is their home, they could come to you if they have a problem, but you don't go to them. You don't check in on what they're Googling. You don't check in on what boxes they're ordering to the house. You don't check in on what they're doing in the basement, what they're doing in their room, why their room has a lock on it. You don't check into what they have in their bag, what they're wearing when they leave the house. This happens. A lot of today's children are raised on microwavable food because parents are home to cook, or parents don't have it to cook, and screens. And when I say screens, I'm talking about computer screens, TV screens for games that channel aggression and sometimes give therapy to a lot of people. Their iPad or their iPhone or their Android phone, but it's always some type of tablet or screen that they're glued to, and they get to watch over and over and over again. They get to absorb all that information. And as grandparents, it's kind of unfair for them to try to keep up and be aware of what their grandchildren are into, what their grandchildren are doing, what their grandchildren are feeling because their parents aren't around. I don't know what that boy's mindset was, but I know for you to go into an elementary school after killing your grandmother, right? And tell kids that they're going to die and shoot them. We will never know if they were doctors, that were shot, if they would have lived. We don't know if there were inventors that were shot that was going to live. We don't know what those children were going to do as adults once they got the opportunity, and we'll never know. And this too will repeat itself because America has this ignorance when it comes to school shootings or mass shootings of people, where they talk about everything else but the solution. They point fingers at that state. Well, that state has worse killings. Well, that state has more people dying than here. Well, at least that's not happening here in Texas. This is a one-time incident. It shouldn't be a never-time incident. What is going on with the people who are behind screens, bubbling and boiling in hate for other people or for themselves, to the point where they go hunting people in broad daylight who are supposed to be in safe spaces? Why are we, as tax-paying citizens, making sure police officers have pensions? Why are we paying taxes if we can't be safe in churches? Why are we paying taxes if our kids can't be safe in public schools? Why are we paying taxes if we're not safe to go into a grocery store and pick up groceries that are way overpriced? What are we paying for? This should not be a norm, but it's becoming a norm. And I feel a heaviness, and I'm trying to understand while I'm trying to get through the day. I'm trying to push through while feeling phony because my kids are home and their kids are not. Because that morning after this happened, I watched my child inhale and exhale, sleeping in my living room, under my throw. And I had to think for a few seconds. Tears just come to my eyes right now. What if I sent her to school and she didn't come back? What if I sent her to school and the day that this shooting happened, it was her last day of school for summer break, and she didn't come home? What if I was one of those parents who had to wait outside and wonder if their child is going to come out with teachers once the police release them? Or is my child in that school laying on the floor somewhere? Do I have to identify a body? And I say that because that should not happen. It shouldn't be happening. There shouldn't be no school that someone on the outside can walk into with a firearm that most military cannot get. And the issue is not gun control, because you will never be able to control what money can buy. There is no control over drugs in the U.S. There's no control over people selling their body parts in a sexual manner. There's no control over weapons in the U.S. because people here put money over morals. And when I say that, they will sell to anyone for a price. They will turn a blind eye to the fact that you're too young, or what are you doing with this weapon, or do you even know how to work this weapon? They say, nah, That's none of my business. Do you have the money? And they do a trade. It'll happen whether or not they have whether or not they put laws in place where guns are completely illegal. It's going to happen because people are going to get to it, because people have been getting to it. That is not the issue. That is the result of preparation not being done. That is the result of parents not checking in. For whatever reason, they don't check in. Maybe they have to be at work really early. Maybe they can't be home when their child is home. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they're deceased. Maybe that child lives with their grandparents and there's only one grandma in the household and she doesn't pay attention to anything. But these children are slipping through the cracks and everybody turns a blind eye to it because that's not my kid, that's not my problem. Until that one kid chooses to end 21 lives. Until that one kid chooses to shoot 10 people in a grocery store. It takes one child who's determined enough and has enough common sense to know how to get the results they're thinking in their mind. While we point fingers at each other about who's to blame for this happening. Well, it's your fault because you sent your child to a school that wasn't closed in properly. That's the parents' fault. What? Now, given the school that my child goes to, no one can walk up to the door and just open the school. You have to be buzzed in. They're going to ask you your first and last name. They're going to ask you what child first and last name you're inquiring about. They're going to ask you for your ID. And it's double doors you need to get through. It's not one door, it's double doors. And how do you have one whole school full of hundreds of children and one police officer or one security guard? How? You know how many doors is on a school? And I'm not saying that would have helped or prevented because the grocery store had that one security officer. I think he was a retired officer. It's just so much grieving in a short period of time and no justice and no peace. And it's kind of like this is happening and the world gets to see this and the people who live in the United States get to see this, and we all have to go to work in the morning and we all have to drive in traffic and we all have to hear about what celebrity is doing this photo shoot, what's happening on the reality show tonight.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Did you hear about the verses? What? 21 people lost their lives 2 days ago. 10 people lost their lives last week. And we're just supposed to move around like it's normal. We're supposed to watch games and be entertained and ha ha ha, kiki like it's supposed to be normal. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. And all of these issues are direct links to the lack of mental health. And no one in this government wants to be honest and say America has a bigger problem on their hands. And it has been a problem for over a decade. And then what it made me think about is this government can sit in a room and delegate for hours about abortions and women need to be having babies. But who wants to bring a child into a world where their children are not protected? Who wants to bring a baby into a world that cannot provide baby food? Who wants to bring kids into a world where they cannot afford rent or a mortgage? There's no regulation on rent or your mortgage or your property tax. There's no regulation on the gas. And it's not just a U.S. issue, but it's a factor. There's no regulation on these food prices. And these companies keep saying, we have jobs, we're hiring, but we would like to pay you $14.50 an hour. Who's living off of that? This is a prime time for any teenager who is either 16 plus or 18 plus that wants to get a job with plenty of options, preferably working from home with ease, because they don't have to pay real adult bills yet and stack your money. Because a teenager is who can work a job for $14.50. A teenager is who can work a job for $18 an hour. People have car notes, insurance, credit cards, student loan debt, utilities, trash, children to feed, children to clothe, emergencies, doctor's appointments. What else we got? House maintenance. And you're saying we should be able to do all of those things being paid $14.50 per hour. What? So right now for me, a lot of what's going on in society doesn't make sense. I'm trying to find peace. I'm trying to wake up open-minded. I'm praying harder. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to be super optimistic and open and keep creating and believing opportunity is coming. More options are coming, and just be positive. But it's hard. It's hard hearing the ignorance of people in power. It's hard knowing like this country has so many brilliant, creative, smart people. And at the same time, at the opposite end, so many rich, disgusting, just ridiculous, insane-minded individuals who feel like that's not our problem. Our children should feel safe at home. Our children should feel safe at school. Our children should feel safe at playgrounds. We should feel safe at grocery stores. Like, what is happening? Why is this happening still? What? None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. So, I feel, I'm trying to push through this week. I feel a heaviness, as if those families in Texas right now are part of me. It's hard for me to look at pictures of the kids. It's hard for me to see parents trying to pull it together and they're bawling, crying. And I don't like seeing people cry. I don't like hearing people cry. I don't like feeling helpless with people crying. But as a mom, I can't imagine what that feels like. That emptiness of what that feels like. That want to go back in time and just let them stay home, or stay home from work, or, pick them up. I knew I should have picked them up a bit earlier. Would have had them. Like, all of those things, all of the guilt that they might feel. As a mom, I feel bad. As a mom, I feel bad about it. America has a lot of work to do. There's a lot of hate here. There's people that love here, but it's a lot of hate here. And until we address the hate here and stop trying to avoid it, or talk around it, or move around it, or just don't talk to those people, or just kill them with kindness, until we start being direct about the hatefulness here, the self-hate, the people that feel threatened by other people's progress, this is going to keep happening. And the only reason why school shootings were at a low for the last couple of years is because of COVID, and these kids were basically virtual and they were at home. They were at home. But I just wanted to say something, because I know I'm not the only parent that's thinking about it. Next episode will be on Friday.